grateful that we were able to complete this assignment within the time frame set by the lecturer. We would like to take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to our lecturer, Madam Binti the lecturer of Archives Administration IMR455 in UiTM Ucap Perdana, who already has provided us with information, guidance, suggestions, and ideas for this assignment. She always encouraged us to work hard on this assignment in order to obtain a quality results from the research that was conducted. Furthermore, a big thanks to everyone on the group that always worked incredibly hard, reacted, comprehended, supported, and were willing to put in some opportunity to finish this group assignment. We will have a great deal of trouble completing this assignment without a group work. We would also like to thank everyone who assisted us directly or indirectly in completing this assignment. Thank you to each and every one of you. In 1818, Governor John Clark called for the formation of a public records facility to be kept safe. It took a long time for tasks to be completed. In the early 1920s, people were concerned about the loss of Delaware's rich history and heritage. So, in response, the General Assembly passed legislation to establish a public records division. The first Delaware State Archivist was appointed in 1913 and an archival office was opened in the old State House wing. The Hall of Records was built in 1938 and a basement storage facility was added in 1970. In 1989, the Hall of Records was named in honor of former State Archivist Leon Devlinga Jr. In 1994, in anticipation of the new building, a group of citizens concerned about the condition of the archives facility sought signatures from a large number of Delaware residents. The remodeling of the Hall of Records was completed in 2003. The Delaware Public Archive still preserves records documenting the history of Delaware and its people. Furthermore, as an archive for Delaware state and local government records, the Delaware Public Archives houses thousands of documents and other materials which can aid in historical research. Among all these records are demographic data, vital statistics such as birth, death, and marriage records, income audits, estate records, property doings, and government documents. The Delaware Public Archives also contains a great number of confidential genealogical research material. The Delaware Public Archives preserves government records and historical documents that have historical value. It aims to make these records available to current and future Delawareans and to provide advice and education in their use. The Delaware Public Archives preserves historical records. Pens are not allowed in the in and out facility because they can cause ink to seep onto records, which could lead to permanent damage. Researchers need to take notes and record references with a pencil.
Definition of acquisition. Acquisition, according to Archive Info, is the practice of receiving materials to be included in the collection through the procedure of donation, transfer, or purchase by the archive. The process necessitates the use of a professional archivist to complete the task because the materials that will be included in the collection must adhere to specific criteria that have been registration on the archive itself. Acquisition policy. The Delaware Public Archives is the official repository of Delaware's historical public records from state, county, and local government. The acquisition of repository of Delaware's historical public for their collection gateway funds is from prizes made by tribute and memorial or naming opportunity. The next section of event is participate in an event or start a fundraiser. In addition, through stocks and bond also donor advice fund. Furthermore, the acquisition is also available from open search by archivists of public archives, local studies according to the archivists and volunteers. In addition, the volunteer research program of research, as well as search of public archive advice registration. In addition, the research administration supports all outstanding researchers engaging in research and helping to manage research. Reference resources are collected in the Delaware's Public Archive Library for all sponsored research and records keeping. Next, types of collection. First, state government records. Since its inception, the archives has preserved the records of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of Delaware state government. Second, local government records. The records generally consist of minutes and financial data, land records including deeds, warrants, and surveys, probate records including inventories, wills, and administrations, and tax assessment records. Other country holdings document activities in the areas of health and human service through the record of the trustees of the poor and transportation with road papers. Third, genealogical records. Items of private origin include the Reverend Joseph Brown Turner genealogical collection of research and correspondence concerning more than 1,000 Delmarva families, the Walter G. Totnell collection of Delaware tombstone records and WPA transcript church records. Delaware's Public Archive also holds a large collection of privately compiled and donated family histories and genealogies. Next, photograph and audiovisual collection. Over 800,000 prints, negative slides, and lantern slides document most areas of Delawarean life and all regions of the state, dating from the 1850s to near present. Most photographs are from the 1920 to 2000. Audiovisual holdings include motion pictures, videotapes, audio tapes, compact discs, wax cylinders, and phonographs. Next, microfilm holdings. Many of the older records of the archives have been converted to microfilm for preservation and convenience of use. Over 15,000 rolls of film are available for self-service. Special research areas are set aside for viewing microfilm. And the last one, manuscript collections. The archives holds a few private papers of distinctive Delawareans, including George Rich, Caesar Rodney, and John M. Clayton. Prominent among these manuscript holdings are the Ridgely papers, the John Dickinson collection, and the private accounts collection, which includes business records of storekeepers, farmers, and craftsmen dating from the 18th century. Appraisal and disposal. Appraisal is the process of determining the value of records for future use for whatever reason and the length of time that value will last. Other words for the same thing include evaluation, review, and selection. Then, disposal is a set of rules that govern how records are managed, transferred, and disposed of. During active and inactive recording times, the Archive and Records Management (ARM) program supports all phases of the recording life cycle. During active record, ARM will assist offices in better organizing records in electronic and print formats, proposing improvements to the filing scheme, and providing formatting and record-keeping advice. Next, train employees to better manage record as well as conduct record evaluation and scheduling. In addition, if the records are no longer active, ARM will assist in their transfer to the Resources Information Specialist, which is analyzed and will destroy or archive inactive records. Next, photograph and audio-visual collection. Over 800,000 prints, negative slides, and lantern slides document most areas of Delawarean life and all regions of the state, dating from the 1850s to near present. Most photographs are from the 1920 to 2000. Audio-visual holdings include motion pictures, videotapes, audio tapes, compact discs, wax cylinders, and phonographs. Next, microfilm holdings. Many of the older records of the archives have been converted to microfilm for preservation and convenience of use. Over 15,000 rolls of film are available for self-service. Special research areas are set aside for viewing microfilm. And the last one, manuscript collections. The archives holds a few private papers of distinctive Delawareans, including George Rich, Caesar Rodney, and John M. Clayton. Prominent among these manuscript holdings are the Ridgely papers, the John Dickinson collection, and the private accounts collection, which includes business records of storekeepers, farmers, and craftsmen dating from the 18th century.
Accessioning. What is accessioning? Accessioning is the official process or procedures of taking physical and legal custody of accepting a collection of records in archival or records custody. The Delaware Public Archive (DPA) is an archival agency that collects and preserves records relating to the local governments and Delaware state, such as historical records, documents, maps, books, audio, and more. To proceed with the accessioning process, the records donor needs to register and fill out the archive's accession form to transfer the records. The form can be achieved from the DPA websites or the Delaware Public Archives Government Services section. The Delaware Public Archives receive new accession regularly. They have a few samples of the accession item that can be viewed from the year 2012 until 2018. There are two examples of items that I state here, which is the first one is first page from of last wills and testament that published on 1703. The second sample is the sample image of Newcastle country minutes from year 1797.
Arrangement and description. The technique of arranging materials in accordance with their origins and original arrangement in order to preserve their context and exert physical or mental control over the materials. Physical arrangement, material sorting, and material rehousing may or may not be included in arrangement. When information regarding collection materials is analyzed, organized, and recorded, it is used to identify and represent an archive resource or a component thereof. Preservation and storage. The Delaware Public Archive will give a presentation on ways to preserve image, records, and digital memories. You will graduate from this course with the skills necessary to protect and keep your priceless memories. This session, which will be delivered by staff members of the archive, Connor Graham, will provide fundamental knowledge and guidance on how to handle and store family papers, pictures, and digital media in a way that will assure their long-term preservation and accessibility. One of the country's older public archive program is the Delaware Public Archive. in order to provide access to public records for both current and future generations, identify, gather and preserve public records with lasting historical and evidential value, and advise and educate interested parties on the production, management, use and preservation of public records. DPA serve Delaware's citizens.
Access and references services. Access services. Access is the term and condition under which the audiovisual content is made available for viewing and reuse. Access requirements include providing the necessary information, rights clearance, and rights management for the audiovisual materials or sequences. Besides that, access also can be understood as an action of an individual seeking permission to use or refer to a resource. Delaware Public Archive is in partnership with Ancestry.com, which enables free access to state of Delaware residents that are just required to create an Ancestry.com account. By signing up to Ancestry.com, it will automatically allow the user to explore the collections that have been fully digitalized in DPA. The examples of collections that also include in free access are birth records, death records, marriage records, land records, naturalization records, and final will and testament records. References services. The optimum access and service should be offered while maintaining the safety of the documents, as reference services are crucial to archival operations. Reference services refers to the facilities and service the archive provides once access to the material is authorized, providing efficient delivery channels for commercial and public access, as well as providing efficient delivery channels for commercial and public access, as well as quality restoration when necessary, are all parts of enabling use. This also includes assisting researchers in finding and selecting appropriate material to use. Besides that, DPA always welcome and allow the arrival of researchers to come to do research in DPA. However, in this pandemic situation, the DPA requires researchers to make an appointment in advance by call or email. Furthermore, DPA also helps the researchers with providing instruction in using records, such as an example, General Reference Collection. General Reference Collection is a convenient compilation of educational and reference material about any subject or person relevant to the understanding of Delaware's history that have been gathered by or deposited with this agency. Next, research guides, also known as public finding aids, that stated the information and guides for find collection to ease the researchers to locate the research that they need. Online guide to the collections. The National Endowment for the Humanities provided funds in 1978 to start the online guide to the collections at the Delaware Public Archive. The initiative, which started as a printed collections guide, eventually turned into an electronic finding aid for the full Delaware Public Archive collection. The last one is requesting record. For those who need a copy of certain records, the DPA provides the service by requiring a fee according to the type of copy that needs to be given. Examples of copy provided are architectural drawings, manuscript copies, and reader printer copies.
Outreach exercises are intended to connect with a huge crowd and to welcome information and mastery on a specific subject to the overall population. First, fundraising campaign. The AMADAM hash wrapper collection comprises of 34 one-of-a-kind bits of correspondence, including letters and verse from Sergeant AMADAM hash wrapper to his significant other Anna and Willie Draper during the American Civil War. The substance of this assortment offers an integrity portrayal of Draper's time while weary and picket obligation, regular subletives of the assistant of a Union warrior in the United States Army from 1861 to 1863. The assortment additionally incorporates correspondence to and from individuals from the more distant family, as well as letters and reports to Anna advising her of his demise on January 22, 1863, from typhoid fever at Camp Gilfins, Virginia. Provenance of collection is the assortment that came to the consideration of the Delaware Public Archive in 2018. The assortment was gotten because of the endeavors of a raising money crusade begun by confidential residents support from the Friends of the Delaware Archive and the Delaware Heritage Commission. Because of this cooperation, the novelties of the AMADAM hash wrapper collection will be safe in ceaselessness and accessible carefully into people in general. Homeless. The McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act channels reserve designated to the assorted destitute populace in Delaware through government organizations which manage programs for the destitute, and the project approved in the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act are managed by various state organizations and nearby legislatures and confidential office in Delaware. State and government support for administrations to the destitute is at present given through the state of Delaware Grant in Aid program and a few state organizations and nearby state-run administrations. The Department of Health and Social Service and the Delaware State Lodging Authority get public access for administration focus on to the destitute, which are conveyed out by private non-benefit specialists co-ops all through the state, and the variety of managerial and specialist co-op organizations require a composed work to offer successful types of assistance and prescribed answer for the different requirements of the destitute in Delaware. The offence court was quite possibly of the earliest court in Delaware, and like the other plainer courts was gotten from the English legal framework laid out by William Penn's new government in 1683. The offence court was established to assess and deal with the estate's usage and employment of offence. That care might be taken for those that can take care for themselves. Subsequent regulation gave the court added liabilities connecting with the guardianship of minors, land left intestate, segment of land appropriations, and requests from register of wills. SWOT stand for strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Strength, as the vote of the foreign court of Delaware State and Neighborhood Legislatures, the Delaware Public Archive contains large number of reports and different materials that can assist with investigating one's genealogical roots. Among these records and evaluation materials, fundamental insight including birth, limits and marriage records, charge appraisals, probate or home records, land deeds and military records. The Delaware Public Archive likewise safeguards a lot of genealogically related materials that were of private beginning. These records incorporate family backgrounds, books of scriptures records, church records, composition, ancestries and paper. Weakness. Like all the types of libraries, a weakness of archive is lack of funding and budget being cut. Reduced budgets affect all areas of service. Hours are reduced properly, trained staff are cut. This means that it takes longer to get material processed and available to the public. Another weakness of archive is copyright and archivist ability to understand it correctly. And lastly, there is always the human element. Opportunity. The Delaware Public Archive offers many exciting opportunities for those seeking employment or experience in the achiever field. We look for employees with a wide range of skills and professional discipline who will share and help shape our mission. The Delaware Public Archive offers a number of opportunities. First, full-time permanent. Second, casual or seasonal employment. Third, internship. Fourth, volume opportunities. Threats. Major threats to achieve are environment factors like dust and light. The temperature is very strictly regulated and should be kept between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius. This is the optimum temperature to stop the material from disintegrating. Insects are also a threat as they are usually undetected until the damage has been done. Insects are sneaky. They can enter through gaps in door and windows, or even hitch a ride in on materials as they enter the archive.
In a nutshell, the Delaware Public Archives website provides an overview of how an organization operates and manages its records, including how it handles past events. This visit has given us a lot of new knowledge and understanding about archives and how to protect them. This will help us to be better archivists in the future.